Hey, what's up you guys, how's it going? Today's video is going to be about Realtors Association lawsuit. You probably heard about it. So almost, according to Google, 20% of US GDP is based on real estate, but in reality I think the numbers are much higher. Should be somewhere around 50%, I would say, because it's not only United States that are investing in real estate in United States, but also countries like China, Middle Eastern countries, even Russia had significant investments before the whole sanctions thing started. Personally, I think that the industry itself was very dated. There was definitely a need for the changes in this whole industry because it was planned by people who were in their senior ages and not really tech friendly. And obviously just getting paid 30,000, 40,000, sometimes 50,000 for the work that would probably be like 2-3 days of the work would not make sense. Personally, I was shocked when I found out that how much are realtors getting paid here in the United States. I even tried to do my first transaction on my own, but almost everybody who were in real estate industry were saying that it would be better to use a realtor, and I didn't know better. If it would be right now, I would definitely not use a realtor because I know pretty much everything. I'm a realtor myself. However, when buying first time, it's really hard to do everything on your own because you just don't know. There is no much information in the internet. If you were not guided by someone, it's really hard to go through all the processes. I even have a friend, a realtor, shout out to Nizami. I had a podcast with him on our channel. If you haven't watched it, it's a very interesting podcast about the market predictions and the overall life in Silicon Valley. Even he's a realtor. He had a 5-6 deal already done, closed by himself. He had a hard time closing on his own deal when he was buying that property for himself because it's a kind of, you need to learn stuff to have it done in the real estate industry. It's not a theory. Even with it, all the theory, even with passing the examination, if you would not have someone to learn from, it will be really hard to accomplish anything. Pretty much what's going on, there was lawsuit, I believe somewhere in Michigan. Some company started a case suing the local board, stating that they were colluding to keep the real estate prices high, and then the jury awarded the suing party. Obviously no one likes realtors making crazy money for the less of work, and it wasn't surprising to me personally, especially considering that such organizations like NAR, National Association of Realtors, or local boards, they're pretty much doing nothing. I actually even had a case when one of the realtors were trying to steal one of the clients of mine, and I called DRE. It's pretty much the governmental body, which they told me, it's a violation, but it's not going to, you cannot do anything about it. Go complain to your board. I didn't waste time complaining to the board because I knew that they were not going to do anything either. Personally, I think there are too much regulatory bodies in this industry. They should go away along with their fees that they're charging realtors, and it will probably sooner or later it will happen because pretty much people on the board of National Association of Realtors, I don't see, as a realtor, I don't see how they contribute really. Like, they just discussions and stuff and nothing else. So that was supposed to be, those guys were supposed to be paying, but it would end up all people who are going to be buying real estate paying for this lawsuit. Thank you for watching, and I would like to mention that this video is sponsored by my company. We help landlords to maximize their rental income. Normally we take the property, say it's been rented for $3,000, we'll help landlord to make about $5,000 and charge about 10% from the profits. This is what we do. If you guys interested, if you're a landlord and looking for that company that would help you with getting more rent, just letting you guys know, I'm also a realtor in California. Any part of California you're looking for real estate property for yourself, live with a family, or for investment, I'm your guy. Feel free to hit me up in the DM. Another thing that I'm not happy with all those lawsuit actions is that most of the time the people who get real money are the lawyers. People like you and me, they probably would not get anything. So overall, according to the judgment, it wasn't approved by judge, by the way. What will happen is, it used to be that seller of the property would pay for the seller's agent and the buyer's agent from the commission that the seller's agent would get. Now it's going to change. Now there would not be a buyer's agent commission included into the overall commission that the seller will be paying, and whoever would want to be represented by buyer, that would have to pay for the buyer's commission. Now Personally, I think it's kind of a weird decision because people who are using the agents most of the time, those guys are first-time home buyers who are pretty much scrapping all their funds to buy property and adding up whatever charge it will be there for the buyer's agent. It will just hurt those guys. In opposite, I don't think that the sellers will win that much because there would be just less agents bringing less buyers to the properties. Of course, everything changed. Everything is online right now. The companies like Redfin, Zillow, they have a competitive advantage, and now when they're doing, when you're selling from these companies, you probably would save on the commission. However, it's not always the case. I mean, you can just go to the Redfin and you will see that properties that are being sold by Redfin, first of all, they're listed not for as much as they could be sold. Secondary, most of the time they're just laying on the market for a while because the agents that are working for the Redfin, they're responsible for certain area, at least 10-15 zip codes, and they would just not have enough time to do all the showings, spend all the time promoting the listings. It's not really saving because you pretty much end up selling your property for the less than you could be selling it with a good agent. Now, overall, I think that change had to happen. It was just a matter of time. I think the problem with the laws like this is that they're not accomplishing everything. For instance, the seller decriminalized in California, but it's never been legalized. People don't know. Cops kind of don't know whom to arrest, especially in cities like San Francisco, and people just shout out in the open. They use hard narcotics. Obviously, this is a crime, but because of all the laws that were passed, hey, you cannot violate the privacy, blah blah blah. It's pretty much horrible situation right now in the downtown of LA, in downtown of San Francisco. No one can interrupt, and no one wants to actually to deal with it. Now, it's the same with this law. So, okay, the buyer's agent is not allowed to get commission, but it's not saying if there should be a buyer agent. If there is a buyer agent, what should be a price? Pretty much the law says that the market should determine. Now I predict that probably most of the time what happens in this type of cases, there will be a bunch of agents who will offer their services for flat fees, which I think makes sense. I used to do it before, but overall, again, it's not going to be winner situation for someone. Of course, many people will start to get paid less. Personally, I'm not worried because selling or buying real estate is not my main part of income. I make my money mostly from investing myself. However, many people would get hurt from this, especially mom and pops agents. Those guys would probably have a hard time adapting, and there will be just overall less agents, which is a good thing, I think, because organizations like boards, especially, those guys are just overpaid. They're getting money just for doing nothing. Isn't it good for the sellers? I don't think so. Overall, I don't think that they will save that much, especially considering all the commissions and everything that they were paying for, and they will get less demand. This will definitely have the market kind of to not go up as crazy as it used to go, because there will be less agents, meaning there will be less demand. Again, the main winners are not the buyers or the sellers. It's probably just going to be the law companies. And overall, my take is that it had to be happening. The overall law doesn't seem complete. Okay. Now I had some comments. I've read some interesting comments on the TikTok about all this stuff, and I wanted to read them and share my opinion on them. There was a lady. She made a video saying that her commission is more than lots of people make in a year. It really depends on what you agree on getting paid. I don't see myself working as a 9-to-5 employee because I would just not get satisfied to sell my time for the money that people can offer, like $40 an hour, maybe $100 an hour. I think my time worth more, my freedom time worth more. Also, you kind of sell on what people pay you in life generally. So it's pretty much, if you're not happy getting paid, just go and work. Why you just complain about other people? So other comment was, all I heard is that the real estate commissions are idiotically high. Yeah, it's kind of true. I don't think that they were that idiotically high. There are people getting paid even crazier money in the venture capital space, or in the IT industry, or in the startups industry, so many other industries. But the thing is, commissions were unreasonable. That's what I would say. I mean, paying 3% in states like Georgia, Florida, probably is a little high. In California, 2% is also, I think, is high. The industry standard, there should be industry standards, and I think the fair price would be 1%. Okay, there are more complaints here. Real estate commissions are ridiculous. Why should realtors get more to sell a million? Why should realtors sell $1 million home than they do sell $350,000 home? Same work is done. It's ridiculous. Well, that's not technically true. When the house worth more, deal with a different type of product. You need to have connections to sell those kind of houses. It's not just listing on MLS. And most of the time people who own those type of luxury houses, they're not dumb people. If it would be as easy as you think, they would just sell their own properties on their own. There are lots of paperwork involved. You have to be careful. I remember I offered free video shoot to one of those luxury properties listed here in Orange County. The agent refused because he was concerned about security of people coming in and out. So it's not as easy as you think, but yeah, definitely there should be an adjustment. My question is, why do I need a realtor in the first place? I buy things all the time without assistance. The process should end. Well, Mr. Roshan Kar, if you think so, then go do it. Why you complain on other people's pages? I mean, I don't really understand people on TikTok and on YouTube when they go, hey, you're getting paid, blah blah blah, you don't deserve this money. Okay, prove it. Go make those money yourself. If you think that it's easy money, go make those money yourself. Why you just wasting your time writing negative comments here? 1.3 million doesn't buy what it used to. Finally, an honest real estate agent. Sounds like realtors were overpaid for doing nothing. 6% if theft. I agree, 6% is too much. Probably industry standard. It used to be like 4% in California, and in states with lower real estate prices, it used to be like somewhere around 3% per agent. I think industry standard in those states should be probably 3%, 1.5 for each agent, and in California 2%. It should be just more than enough. Writing an offer doesn't take a rocket scientist. Well, the thing is, you don't write an offer only. I had a last client where we wrote about 15-20 offers, and none of those offers got accepted because there just was too much competition. You really have to know what the seller is looking for. If you're just writing offers left and right, you would not get a deal, a really good deal. You would just get a so-so deal, which is not most people want. If you want to have your deal accepted, you have to put in the work. It's just not writing an offer. Too much for. Here's the honest truth. Finding a buyer is the most difficult part of selling real estate. Buyers can't afford agents, which is why the seller always paid for it. That will not change. Well, I agree with this. This is definitely true. Buyers cannot afford the agent. That's why I predict probably it's going to be a flat fees. Panic at the disco. California Realtors, your lifestyle is about to change. I mean, most of realtors I know that are doing really good, the selling is not their main thing. I actually know a couple of realtors. I asked them like, why are you not buying your own real estate? I had a feeling that they don't really trust the market. Now, if the realtor is not buying their own property, it means they're not a real pro. If they're not trusting the market, they're not trusting the process. I would personally not work with a realtor who doesn't invest himself. This whole situation is a joke. If you want a buyer's agent, then you as a buyer need to pay for your agent. I mean, who that would be okay paying like $3,000, $4,000 for the transaction? Be honest, like there are like no people who would do that. People who are investing, serial investors, those guys don't really, they already have someone to work with and they don't really pay the whole commission. Anyways, I hope this video brought clarity to you guys. I hope all the people who are in danger to lose their income would find a way to work it out. And generally speaking, I think every crisis is an opportunity. Personally, I consider this thing as an opportunity. I have idea on my plan, I have a game plan, and I think we will be doing really well. Thank you for watching and see you in the next one.